we are going to discuss about the magnetic effects of current in continuation. Uh, First lecture we discussed the Biot-Savart's law. Today we will be discussing the applications of Biot-Savart law. The one application for a straight line we have already discussed. Today we have to discuss for the second application, which is again very important. That is, we have to find the magnetic field due to a circular loop which is carrying current. So this is the circular loop with you. You know all the things, and we have already found the for the circular loop electric field intensity at a point on the axial line. So axial line is just passing from the center of the ring or the circle and perpendicular to it, simply like I'm showing it to you, and the point P is here. So point P you have to find. Because of this circular ring, of course it is a three-dimensional thing with you, so you need to understand the things, and we are having the point P here in the diagram. If I draw the diagram, then you have to see this diagram. P point is here and this is the current carrying loop. I have supposed the current is flowing in the anticlockwise direction as shown in the diagram. So when the current is flowing, then of course I am taking the small current element dl here. I may take the small current element at D point, x dash, y dash also here. I am finding magnetic field due to this small current element at the point P. So by using your right hand rule, you can see the direction of the magnetic field. So when you are having the current element like this, or you are simply using the right hand, you can curl the fingers in the direction of the current. You will be getting thumb is pointing towards the magnetic field which is coming outward. So this is the small magnetic field dB which is coming here, and you can see we are supposing this angle in this. So if you complete this diagram by drawing the projection from point P on this center of the ring, this is angle 90 degree. This angle is also 90 degree, and this angle which this dB is making with the r is the distance between the small current element and the point P. While this distance, perpendicular distance from the center, we are taking it x, and we are assuming small a to be the radius of the ring. Small a is the radius of the ring or the circular loop, and this r is the distance. So you can see this angle we are supposing phi. So by symmetry, if you complete this diagram as this angle between the r vector and dB vector is 90 degree. So if you are taking a line here perpendicular to this plane you are taking, then this angle also comes phi. And if you resolve this dB into the components, then you are getting here dB cos phi and perpendicular to it is dB sin phi. Similarly, if you want to take due to this small current element at point D, then again the direction of dB is as shown in the diagram, and if you resolve, you are getting the components dB cos phi and dB sin phi. And of course you can see that the dB cos phi component of the opposite current elements is getting cancelled, but dB sin phi components, they are being added. So this diagram is very important. You need to understand this diagram, and of course we are supposing the plane of the coil is perpendicular to the plane of the diagram. This of course you have I have shown it to you, so you can understand the thing, I think. Now we want to find the total magnetic field at this point P because of all the small current elements on the ring I may take on the ring, or you may call it as a circular loop. So this is the formula by using Biot-Savart law, which we have already discussed with you. That is mu naught I dl sin theta divided by 4 pi r square. Now here theta is what? Theta is the angle between your dl and r, which is equals to 90 degree. So this sin 90 will be equals to 1. So you will be getting the value of dB here is mu naught I dl upon pi r square. This is for the dB. Now if you are taking the components, you are adding the components as I have already explained. So all the dB sin phi components are being added, while cos phi components, they are being cancelled in pairs. You can write that. And then if you want to find the total magnetic field, that is integral of dV sin phi. Now from this figure you can see this sin phi, it is equals to perpendicular upon hypotenuse, means A upon R. And if you want to take the integral of this dl, then it is coming out to be circumference of this circle, which is equals to 2 pi a. So you mu naught I and of course r, these are constants, and sin phi also is a constant being dependent upon a and r. So you can write all these values and you can get the results. You are getting mu naught I, integral of dl is 2 pi a, sin phi is a upon r, and r here you can see from the diagram that r, it is equals to square root of a square plus x square. So this is a square plus x square root is the value of r, and here you have to put the value of r square, which is of course square of the square root. So you are getting equals to a square plus x square. So if you just work it out, and you are getting the result b, that is equals to mu naught I a square divided by 2 into a square plus x square power 3 by 2. And of course the direction we can find by using the right hand thumb rule. Moving ahead, if we talk about the special cases, now special cases, this formula I already know. If I put the point is here on the center of the ring, it means x, it is equals to 0. So when x, it is equals to 0, on solving you will be getting mu naught I upon 2a. This result you can get as a special case of the circular loop, or if you want to derive it otherwise also you can derive. I will discuss in the coming slide. Second case, if the observation point is far away from the coil, it means x is very large as compared to the radius of the coil, or I can say a is very small than x. So in this denominator, a square can be neglected in comparison to x square, but of course in numerator it will remain as such. So I will get the magnetic field B, it is equals to mu naught I a square upon 2x cube. So this is the formula. And of course if you do the graph plotting for the magnetic field with the distance, this is the shape of the graph which we are getting. And if you want to find the direction of the magnetic field, then of course as I have said, you curl your fingers, right hand rule, curl your fingers in the direction of the current, and the direction in which thumb is pointing, that is giving you the direction of the magnetic field. So for the anti-clockwise direction it is coming upward, for the clockwise direction it is coming downward. So that your direction in case of magnetic field is very important, as it is a vector quantity. If you want to go into higher studies or for the competitive purpose, you should be knowing that if I am doing about these points A and A dash, they are termed as the point of inflection, and at these points the curvature is changing, and you can find at these points are coming at plus minus r by 2 distance from the center of the coil. At these points, if you see, dv by dx is coming out to be constant, while double derivative is coming out to be 0. And if you put this value, you are getting this as the result. If I take n as the number of turns, then to that formula I can always multiply by capital N if we take capital N as the number of turns. So for n turns, it will be for at the point center of the loop, it will be mu naught Ni divided by 2a. Or otherwise we can work out with the things always by multiplying with the number of turns, whatever are given in the numerical or in the question. And these points of inflection are simply found to make certain applications like Helmholtz curls are there. Also we can discuss. Second case which we are taking with you, if I don't want to go for the ring at a distance x, rather I want to find directly magnetic field at the center of the loop. As I've said, if now I'm taking the current in the clockwise direction. So if the current is in the clockwise direction, magnetic field is into the paper, away from me. Fine. So it is denoted by plus cross, and if it is outward, it is denoted by dot. You all know. So then, if you see here, theta between dl and r, here of course we are taking radius as a, so that is equals to 90 degrees. Simply you put the values for into the this formula, which is by the Biot-Savart's law. You know, basic formula mu naught I dl sine theta upon 4 pi r square. You put sine theta equals to 90. Sine 90 is 1. So you are getting integral of dl is 2 pi a, and you will be able to get this result, which we have otherwise proved by that special case for taking the circular rule. So it is your choice. If it is coming as a direct question, you may use it here directly, you can do, or you can go by that method by taking the special case. Of course, the graph, if you plot with the radius, then this is the shape of the graph. With distance x I have already given. So these graphs are also very important. You need to know these graphs, and you should be able to remember these formulas with you, because on this most of the times you get the questions. So these are very, very important for you. Direction, if it is clockwise, into the paper. If it is anti-clockwise, it is outward. Perpendicular to the plane, of course, we have to take by using the right hand rule, because you all are aware of the right hand rule from the class 11th. Also, we have already discussed many times with you. This is, of course, if you want to write the b, you can write integral of db and then you can work out the things. If you want to write all the steps, you can write it like this. This is again the repetition, because in the previous case, special case, I have taken this. Now on circular loop, many times you get the question, if there are n number of turns, as I have said, you will be multiplying with n. Now sometimes you are getting the special results like angle they have given. So the same result, if I take r as the radius, then it can be written as mu naught. In place of I can write 2 pi I, and in the denominator, in place of 2, I can write 4 pi. So simply by multiplying 2 pi in the numerator and denominator, I am getting this result. And of course, if they give you n number of turns, you are supposed to multiply it with number n. 2 pi is, of course, here 360 degree. So if 360 degree I am taking, this value is b naught, which I have already given. And if you are taking 180, I am getting b naught by 2. So by depending upon the angle, you can see the value of magnetic field is changing, and I can write this formula as b naught upon 2 pi into theta. So this is the simplest way to write the thing for solving in numerical. Sometimes you have to quickly solve in less time, then you can use this formula. Otherwise, the basic formula is same. If you want to use that formula and then work it out, it is totally your choice. Mu naught I upon 2r or 2a, if you are taking r as radius or a as radius. That is the basic formula. And if n number of turns, you have to multiply it with capital N. That is mu naught Ni divided by 2a or 2r. So these are the results which you can directly use if required at times. Of course, when I am talking about theta angle, with the help of diagram also, the thing I am showing it to you so that you understand what do I mean. That is, I am taking only an arc of the circular loop, and that is making an angle theta at the center of the circle. So if theta is taken this, then you will be writing it as theta I upon r. If theta is taken from this in the diagram, because you get many numericals are created on these. If you are taking theta like this, then it will be of course 2 pi minus theta into I upon r. So basic formula will remain this. From the basic formula, we have simply written it in different forms. So this is important, of course. And if I talk about the cloak rule, which is giving me, if I am looking the coil from this side, so this side, what I see the direction. If I see the direction is clockwise, then it is south pole. If I see the direction anti-clockwise from my front, then it is north pole. This activity I would like you to do it. You draw it on the paper, a circle. You mark a direction and pole. And if you see from the other side, it will automatically appear you as pole. So this activity I always ask the student to do it yourself. If you do, you on one side of the paper you see and then draw and see from the other side of the paper. You will see that north is getting converted into south if the direction is getting changed. Because this anti-clockwise direction which is giving you north pole will become clockwise if you see from the other side, and this N will appear like S. So these are simply the two sides of a coin, like you can see by performing this activity yourself. Ahead, this has found various applications, like I have said, in the Helmholtz coil, where we are generating the magnetic field by passing the current. We are taking copper wires over this circular n number of turns we are taking. So whenever n number of turns, these two coils are kept parallel to each other like this, as it is shown in the diagram. So we can study the magnetic field when we allow the electric current to pass. Similarly, you all have seen the solenoid. So if I make the current to pass through the solenoid, if it is going in this way clockwise, it will appear as south pole, and the other, if you look from this side, it is appearing anti-clockwise, then it will appear as north pole. And of course, magnetic field direction is shown you in the diagram. It is coming out from the N and moving into the S. This is just to show you that solenoid has n number of turns. Copper, insulated copper wire we take to make a solenoid, and n number of turns are taken, and we can allow the current to move through these coils by simply connecting it with the source battery, and then we can study the magnetic field due to these current carrying coils. So n coils, number of turns can be given to you in the question. They may ask you at any point. That also can be asked in the numerical form. So I have taken few questions for you to make the things more clear into your mind. The first question, I'm reading it for you. It says a circular coil having 100 turns of wire and radius is nearly 20 centimeter each, lying in the xy plane with its center at the origin of coordinates. You have to find the magnetic field at a point 0, 0, 20 root 3 centimeter. Means point is on the z-axis, perpendicular to it. So as I have shown, this is the plane and I am taking the point perpendicular to it. That should be very clear with you. And current in the coil is also given to you in the question, that is 2 upon pi into A. So whatever things are given in the question, n is given, total number of turns, capital N is 100, radius, because in the derivation we have taken it A, so I am writing it A only, that is 20 centimeter, which is equals to 0.2 meter if I convert it. This z-axis distance is given, or you may call it as x. In the question we have assumed it as x in the formula. So because we assumed the coil in the yz plane and point was taken on the x-axis. So here they have taken it is in the xy plane and point is taken on the z-axis. So this you should be able to understand by reading the question. And you can convert this distance also into meter, which is coming out to be 0.2 root 3 meter. Current is also given. So you can find the magnetic field at the axial point. Of course, it means that the coil is in the xy plane and point is here on the z-axis. So this point is on the z-axis. So you should be able to understand the thing, and you can use the formula directly, simply multiplying the formula with the capital N, that is number of turns, that is mu naught n I a square divided by 2a square plus z square power is 3 by 2. In place of x, you will be writing z, of course, and then you put the values. So question is, means once you have understood the concept, you are able to recall the formula, then you have to simply put the values. Mu naught which we have discussed. The value is 4 into 4 pi into 10 to the minus 7 into 100 into 2 upon pi. This pi and 4 pi, these both the pi will get cancelled, into 0.2 whole square, that is the a, we have already written it into meter, divided by 2 into 0.2 whole square and plus 0.2 root 3 whole square. Power is 3 by 2. And you need to work it out. Of course, we are getting the answer magnitude we are getting, that is coming out to be 25 micro Tesla. Of course, because they have not mentioned current is flowing in the clockwise or anti-clockwise direction, so I will not be able to tell the direction. So I will be simply giving the magnitude of the magnetic field. So I think this question is clear with you. So more questions can be asked, like this is most popular question which you get in the CBSE exams or otherwise in the competitive exams. Question is, a long wire having a semicircular loop of radius r. Now they are mentioning the radius, they are taking r, so it means in the formula I have to change. In place of a, I will be writing r. Carries a current I as shown. Current I is flowing like this as it is shown in the diagram, from P to Q, then to R, then to S, then to T. So you have to find the magnetic field due to the entire wire at the point O point. So you have to find due to this semicircular loop, and you have to find because of these straight wires. So linear portion we have already discussed in the previous class. Due to the linear wire when we are taking, so theta is coming 0 or pi with this O point r. If I take, then this is r direction, it is making 0 angle. If for this you take r, because here you may give some different name x, then the direction will be here's 180 degree theta. So if you put in this basic formula for the linear, so I am getting this sine 0 or sine 180 is 0 itself. So B due to the linear part will come equals to 0. I have called it as equation number 1. Now important is to find the magnetic field due to this circular loop, circular wire portion. So here R is perpendicular to the current element. When you are taking the current element, then theta is 90 degree. And this formula is given to you. You can directly use the formula, or because of the semicircle, integral of dl will be equals to pi r. You can do the derivation step here just to make the things. Otherwise, you can directly also use this mu naught I upon 4r. For the semicircular loop will be half of the circular loop. Circular loop was mu naught I upon 2r, and 1 by 2 multiplied, you will be getting it equals to 4r, or you can just verify by simply doing the steps of derivation. And then you can find the magnetic field, total magnetic field will be there only because of the semicircular portion. Because of the straight wire, there is no field, so you should be able to understand it. So this is a very important question from your examination point of view also. Question is there with you that says two wires A and B, they have same lengths equals to 44 centimeter and carry a current of 10 ampere each. Current is carried 10 ampere in both the wires. Wire A is bent into a circle. So first wire again circle, and second wire is bent into the form of a square as diagram is shown. Circle you have already seen. Question says which wire produces a greater magnetic field? First part. Second part is obtain the magnitudes of the field at the centers of the two wires. So you have to take both the cases separately for coil 1 A and then for second coil B. So two parts are there again. So it means totally you have to work out for 4 things. Because 2 wires and 2 questions are there. So you have to, of course, read the question carefully, understand what they are asking, and then only you need to work it out. Length of both the wires is same, 44 centimeter. We are assuming it to be 4L because when we are converting it into the square, each side has to be L, then total length will be 4L. This is the reason why I have taken this. Now first part says if the wire is bent into a circle, then it means the perimeter of the circle is 2 pi r if r is the radius, that is equals to 4L. And for the center magnetic field, if I want to find at the center of the circle, this is the formula mu naught I upon 2r. I can put the value here for yours r, and in terms of L, of course, then of course we have by putting the value, I'm getting this result with me, that is mu naught I pi upon 4L. Or simply because I know the value of 2 pi r, I have multiplied by pi in the numerator and in the denominator. So if I am multiplying with pi in the numerator and denominator, then in the denominator 2 pi r is equals to 4L, and in numerator I am getting mu naught I pi. So whatever way you can work out, that is your choice, mathematics, but the formula should be correct. That should be recalled by you at that minute when it is asked. Second case is we are bending it in the form of a square. So in the square there are 4 wires and the direction of current I have shown. If you take this at the center, you are taking the current. Because of the current you find the magnetic field, because of all the currents you are getting it in the inward direction. Inward direction, same direction you are getting, so all the magnetic fields are to be added. So if I find because of the one side of this wire, I can simply multiply it with 4 to get the total magnetic field at the center. So I am simply finding because of this length AB. I have completed the diagram by joining A and B with the center of the square O point. I am getting these angles equals to 45 degree. And the formula for the straight wire is known to me, that is dB small magnetic field. If I am writing mu naught I upon 4 pi r into sine alpha plus sine beta. But in the diagram you can see alpha and beta both are 45 degrees. So you can put the value, and this distance r from the center we are getting equals to L by 2. If I am putting the value of r equals to L by 2, I am putting alpha and beta values here. I am getting dB equals to 2 root 2 mu naught I upon 4 pi L. And total magnetic field because of this square will be equals to 4 times dB, because all are being added. We have already checked it out by using the right hand rule. So magnetic field due to this is coming 4 times dB, and if I multiply it with 4, I am getting 8 root 2 mu naught I divided by 4 pi L. So from first equation and second equation you can see that your B dash, it means because of the square the value is coming out to be greater than B. The same thing you can prove to answer the second part of the question. You have to obtain the magnitudes of the fields at the centers of the two wires. So for the first wire, A wire, I am calling it as magnetic field as B, and for the second wire I am calling it as B dash. So this first wire, if you are finding the magnetic field, you can write first wire and second wire, because otherwise you may get confused with the things. So if you put the value here for L means length of this wire, that we have taken it as 4L, that is 44 centimeter. So 44 into 10 to the minus 2. Current is also given in the question, 10 ampere. You can put the value of current also 10. And then if you work it out, you are getting 0.9 into 10 to the minus 4 Tesla. While for the second case, if you put all these values, you are getting 1 into 10 to the power minus 4 Tesla. So only a slight difference in the magnitudes is coming. But of course, B dash is coming greater than B. That you can verify from these formulas also as well. So keep things up to this. Thank you.